Very good afternoon, all the medicos. Myself, Dr. Deepak, will be discussing the ENT MCQs of the recent examination. So in the beginning, I will be just want to highlight one point. We are moving from the one-liner error to the integrated MCQs, which were there in your examination, and you felt that yeah, integrated teaching is the need of our. So all my FMG students, beta, now we will be discussing the ENT segment. I give you a message that we have to learn the basic sciences in a very integrated fashion. And we people at DAMS, we are prepared for the new pattern, the new changes in the recent pattern. So let us crack with the MCQs. Myself, Dr. Deepak, will be discussing the ENT segment. The first MCQ which was there, yes, was from grand test, last grand test of DAMS, 70-year-old male trumpet player with, what is keyword? Listen the MCQ nicely. What was the keyword? Trumpet player. 1 point. Second, the patient. The examiner have shown you a slide in which there was a radiolucent, there was a black swelling in the area of thyro and hyoid area. What is this one? This is keyword going in the favor of laryngocele. Beta, if you have attended my lecture, if you have revised the notes properly, very simple MCQ, trumpet player, there is a radiolucent swelling at the level of thyroid membrane. That word, keyword, thyroid membrane was not there, but this radiograph, this X-ray shown clearly going in the favor of diagnosis of laryngocele. Beta. So let us learn the concepts of laryngocele. This is my cricoid cartilage, this is my thyroid cartilage, this is my hyoid bone, and at the level of, at the anterior part of this segment, anterior wall of your supraglottic area, there is a small pouch that is known as saccule. I hope every medical is confident of this basic anatomy, and this saccule is blocked and get enlarged because of the air. We use a word laryngocele. It is in the vicinity of a membrane. Beta, कौन सी membrane होती है ये? Common sense. This is thyroid membrane. So in the area of thyroid membrane, we have laryngocele, and if this swelling rupture the thyroid membrane, we use a word extrinsic, intrinsic. So in the last time exam, they have asked you the diagnosis. This is laryngocele. What will be the symptomatology? Let us crack. But the options, out of these options, the answer was laryngocele, the B option. Now what will be the MC? What is the importance of this laryngocele, symptomatology of this laryngocele? This patient have inspiratory dyspnea. Agreed, it is supraglottic. Obviously it will be inspiratory dyspnea, but along with there is some voice changes. Why voice changes there in the laryngocele is because of pressure on the vocal cords. So is a pressure symptom of laryngocele. We have inspiratory dyspnea with hoarseness. So diagnosis going the laryngocele, treatment will be surgery. Extrinsic, intrinsic. Who is deciding? Expected MCQ in the upcoming examination, thyroid membrane. Beta, just remember this word. I repeat this point 3 to 4 times in the lectures. Beta, if thyroid membrane is mentioned, if trumpet player with a radiolucent swelling in neck is equal to laryngocele. So first answer was laryngocele. Now there was 2 MCQs on X-ray of peroneal sinus, which is nicely covered in our practical course. Occipitomental X-ray view of peroneal sinus shown in the, what was shown? It was a Waters view. So there was 2 different MCQs on the same topic. They have asked you the view. This view, occipitomental view, is for maxillary sinus and is known as Waters view. Beta, always remember few basic concepts of this X-ray of peroneal sinus. Waters view is here for maxillary sinus. Waters view is for maxillary sinus. Caldwell's view is for ethmoid and frontal. But important MCQ, which sinus is not visible on Waters view? Everybody, yes, confident. Posterior ethmoid is not visible. And if I ask the patient to open the mouth, why we ask the patient to open the mouth in Waters view? For sphenoid, which is known as Pierce view, again is one of the recent MCQ expected in the upcoming NEET examination. Clear? So the Waters view was shown to you. If the examiners show you this type of view, that will be your Caldwell's view. Clear? This was Waters view, and then they have given one MCQ in which they have shown Waters view and they highlight one of the sinus. Which sinus is being shown? Beta, all these are recall choices. I am just trying my best to compile all the MCQs of ENT. So this was maxillary sinus. Always remember, beta, the point was maxillary sinus. Clear? Coming on the next one. Which sinus was shown? It was maxillary sinus. Now there was one MCQ on potential spaces from where we are having the dehiscence. One is Killian's dehiscence. What is Killian's dehiscence? It is between cricopharyngeus beta and thyropharyngeus. So superiorly is your thyropharyngeus. This muscle is coming. This is thyropharyngeus, and this area is cricopharyngeus. So this is your Killian dehiscence. Killian's dehiscence. And if there is a herniation, from this area, we use a word Jenker diverticulum. Always remember this point clear. Now, along with Killian dehiscence, what are the other worth remembering point? One is your Killian-Jameson and one is Lemmer's-Hackerman space. So better just focus your eyes. I just want to highlight this image for the upcoming NEET examination. If they show you some potential space between thyropharyngeus and cricopharyngeus, that is Killian dehiscence. Now on the lateral side between cricopharyngeus and esophagus, we have Killian-Jameson area. Am I understandable? And inferiorly, if instead of going laterally, if you're going inferiorly, inferior to cricopharyngeus, there is Lemmer dehiscence. So these are the three words which are very important MCQ. Either they can ask an ENT or general search. Clear? Coming to the next one, they have shown you one image of congenital. Here, this is your cleft lip, and they have asked you how it is formed. This is cleft lip formed by incomplete fusion of, and the examiner tried to confuse you between the medial and lateral process of nasal embryology. Clear? So always remember, it is medial or lateral. Obviously it will be the medial, it will be not lateral. This part will be the lateral, this will be the medial. So you see, incomplete fusion, common sense beta apply. This is a medial along with the maxillary process, if it would be palatal, then it will be going in the favor of cleft palate. They were asking you cleft lip. So cleft lip is a congenital abnormality where there is a incomplete fusion between the medial nasal process with the maxillary. MCQs were very, you can say, it were on the easy side. As far as ENT MCQs were concerned, they were very simple, but yeah, they have given tricky choices to confuse all these students. Clear? Coming to the next one, most common head and neck tumor. They have asked you head and neck malignancy. Most common is your oral cavity. So which are the few important worth remembering points with oral cavity? Nasopharynx carcinoma is commonly seen in Chinese population. This can be the next potential MCQ. Yes, Epstein-Barr virus associated with nasopharyngeal carcinoma. Hypopharynx malignancy beta, which are the few expected MCQ in the upcoming NEET examination. Hypopharynx, most common site in hypopharynx is pyriform fossa. Am I understandable? And pyriform fossa, post-cricoid malignancy, have very poor prognosis. So you should remember all these points for the upcoming NEET examination. So post-cricoid malignancy, they are common in females suffering from Plummer-Vinson syndrome, and they have very poor prognosis. Now, which are the other worth remembering points? Important expected MCQs. Most common malignancy is your oral cavity. Carcinoma oral cavity is most common. If they ask you most common part, which part is involved in oral cavity, if they ask you for India, it is your buccal mucosa, while involved is your lateral border of tongue. Am I understandable? The most common malignancy, golden statement I always repeat in my lectures, squamous cell carcinoma. So ENT malignancy, most common squamous cell carcinoma. Clear? So coming to the next 7th MCQ was, this is a nice clinically integrated MCQ. 12-year-old patient present in the ENT OPD with chief complaint of hearing loss. The examiner had given you a typical history of hearing loss. On examination, tympanic membrane was bulging tympanic membrane with hearing loss. So 2 points come into my mind. One, it can be, it's 12-year-old. It cannot be any tumor. So it will be either serous otitis media or it can be acute suppurative otitis media. Then the examiner was giving you B graph on tympanometry, B tympanogram. It means we are going in the favor of serous otitis media. We can rule out the choices. If it would be ossicular chain disruption, it will be, the graph will be AD. If otosclerosis, the graph will be AS. Chronic suppurative otitis media, you will not be seeing any bulging tympanic membrane on exam, or you will be appreciating a perforation of the tympanic membrane. Clear? So the answer was serous otitis media. I will label it as very simple, mild MCQ. If you can't miss these important points, beta. All my FMG students, beta, just learn the concept. No need of mugging up. We have seen over a period of last few years, beta, now we have to learn the concept. 2-3 years back there was a scenario when everybody was trying to make you mug up all the things. Now it's not practically possible. We have to learn the concept. They will be asking you the integrated MCQs. They will be combined, like the next MCQ they have combined a pharma with the ENT. So better, very humble, very friendly advice to everybody. Now is not time to mug up the things. Is now we have to learn the basic concepts, basic underlying concepts. Next MCQ: patient from Bihar with generalized bone pain with a history of fluoride intake. Now just remember, MCQ of ENT, when they have mentioned the word fluoride, where is fluoride? If you have revised the notes, if you have revised my ear notes 4 to 5 times, sodium fluoride, beta, where we mentioned sodium fluoride in autosclerosis. They have given this image and the 4 choices were there. Okay, this patient is associated with as osteoporosis, no fluoride therapy. The patient is on history of fluoride intake. So which 2 options are ruled out? It will not be osteoporosis or osteomalacia. It is here autosclerosis. What is osteopetrosis? Is a marble bone disease. There will be hyperdense lesions. So the answer going in the favor of autosclerosis. What important concepts which you should remember on the autosclerosis is a conductive deafness, pregnant female, coming with hearing loss, mild hearing loss. Which type of hearing loss is there? Hearing loss at 2000 hertz. All these points where they have asked in an indirect way. Which notch is seen? Carhart notch. We have revised many times. Carhart notch. What is the treatment of choice? Is stepidotomy. Stepidotomy is the treatment of choice, but if the patient is not ready for surgery, what is the medical treatment? Medical treatment is sodium fluoride F. From there, they have taken this MCQ. They have made a clinical integrated MCQ. Answer was autosclerosis. Coming to the next one of my favorite MCQ. 13-year-old boy with low-grade fever. They have given a clinical vignette, cough, sore throat. Better take my word. All these students, the pattern is changing now. After 1 or 2 years, take my word, they will be giving you clinical vignette. Like the paper 2 was on the clinical vignette pattern. The same will be in the upcoming examination. So 13-year-old boy with low-grade fever, cough, sore throat for the 5 days. Patient was given some unknown antibiotics. By the 3rd day, patient fever was gradually declined. They have given long history. And then they have given this image. There is a neck swelling, long history of sore throat with the neck swelling. What is this one? I have repeated in my lecture more than 5 times. Beta, bull's neck. This is bull's neck. If you remember, bull's neck. So is a diphtheria is one of the, if you remember, is a, when we read tonsillectomy, when the topic of tonsillectomy is there. So always remember bull's neck. There is a edema in the neck. Is one of the indication for tonsillectomy. If you remember, 6 indication of tonsillectomy, in which I mentioned one, the patient non-responding diphtheриal infection. So we have to, because source of infection is there in the tonsil. So what is this bull's neck? Is because of diphtheриal infection. So the answer was D option. Clear? This was a easy MCQ, beta, if you have revised your notes properly. Question number 10. No exam can be there without this MCQ, malignant otitis externa, because if you have listened to our must-read topic, beta, this topic I have repeated 2 to 3 times, and I thanks all the students who are giving me compliment for the last 2-3 days. All the questions were from the class notes, beta. Revise class notes again and again. Learn the concept. This is not the time to mug up the things now. 75-year-old diabetic patient, ear pain. I will not read the MCQ. I am a damn student. Diabetic patient with ear pain. It's nothing but malignant otitis externa. Clear? Facial nerve involvement. There was granulation on the examination. All those going in the favor of malignant otitis externa. What are the other worth remembering point? Technetium 99. Yes, they can ask you in NEET examination. Gallium scan. Technetium 99 scan is for diagnosis, beta. Gallium scan is for prognosis. My patient in the medical college, he can't afford this scan. So what is the other investigation we use? We use ESR for prognosis of the patient. I'm understandable. Which bacteria in the upcoming NEET examination they can ask you. Out of these 9 or 10 MCQs, better, they will ask you one question on malignant otitis externa. Clear? All the students who are preparing for upcoming NEET or INICT, there will be one MCQ on malignant otitis externa. They can either ask you the investigation of just technetium 99 scan, or gallium is for prognosis. Patient can't afford, I will go for ESR. Which other investigation? We are using ESR for prognosis. After how many weeks? ESR comes down, potential MCQ 2 weeks. Now, beta, at this point, when final revision, we have to only concentrate on the keyword. Just focus next 1 minute, beta, how we have to handle malignant otitis externa in the next couple of days. Malignant otitis externa, diabetic patient, ear discharge, dendulation, facial palsy. Patient comes to me, technician 99, Gallium scan, ESR 2 weeks, pseudomonas, therefore third generation cephalosphere. Not available. I can go for penicillin or ciproflox. What is the surgery of choice? Big surgery? Not at all. We are doing simple debridement. So in 1 minute, we have to read the whole topic of malignant otitis. This is not time we can go in the depth of the topic. So in the final revision before your examination, you should concentrate only on the keyword. Question number 11. I appreciate this question. The examiner made a very nice question. A old patient with a hearing loss. Which part of the hair cell must be involved? Now, first of all, what is the diagnosis? I will make a diagnosis. Presbycusis, old age hearing loss. Next question, if you revise the notes properly, when I teach the topic of Meniere's, along with Meniere's, I compare Meniere's graph with presbycusis. Meniere's is low frequency hearing loss. Presbycusis is high frequency hearing loss. So first of all, you are my damn student. First of all, two options ruled out. Which option ruled out, beta? Seculoatrial. These are the organ of balance, nothing to do with hearing. So option A and D ruled out. A or B. It is base or apex. So high frequency hearing loss. So initially it will be involving the base of the cochlea. Very simple but nicely formatted MCQ. Presbycusis, base of the cochlea is initially involved. Clear? I appreciate the examiner who made this question. Coming to the next one, a child 2 years with severe sentinel hearing loss. He was prescribed with hearing aid but no improvement. Repeated more than 5 times. This is a repeated MCQ. What is the next line of treatment? So in pediatric patient in congenital sensory deafness, severe congenital deafness, we initially try with high power hearing aid. Patient not responding. What is the next step? Can you go for fenestration session? Nothing. No. Option A and B, A and C, something to do with the otosclerosis. Is C option otosclerosis, cochlear implant. Yes, I will be going for conservative, not at all. Why? I have to treat the patient. Always remember, we should treat the patient by 6 months to avoid any mild development in language. So conservative cannot be the right option. So answer will be D option. D option. Clear? Coming to the next one, most common congenital abnormality of larynx. Again, beta, this was a, you can say, easiest MCQ of the topic. Laryngeal webs, laryngomalacia, laryngeal stenosis, most common congenital omega shape epiglottis. Yes, it is here. Laryngomalacia, most common congenital abnormality. Last spell of revision, 6 points. Omega shape, laryngomalacia, most common congenital abnormality. Patient is asymptomatic, 2 weeks, 90% respond by 2 years, everybody. So what is the treatment? Wait and watch with reassurance. If you're going for INICT, they can ask you the next level MCQ, epiglottis falling down. Omega shape epiglottis, so you have very short, relaxed aryepiglottic fold. If they show you some fibrous band between the vocal cord, it is a congenital webs. Congenital, this is a image for congenital webs. They can ask you MCQ, or they can ask you one classification in upcoming examination, Cotton-Wear classification, which is for congenital stenosis. Very important topic, congenital anomalies of larynx. They will ask you an MCQ in either in pediatrics or in ENT. Question number 14, again integrated MCQ between anatomy and ENT. A female child with recurrent tonsillitis referred for tonsillectomy. Following the surgery, she was having pain. Referred otolithia. What is the cause? Obviously, base of tonsil, tonsillar bed. Which nerve? Glossopharyngeal nerve. They can ask you this question in different forms. Am I understandable? So it is a glossopharyngeal nerve is one of the important indication for tonsillectomy if the patient is having glossopharyngeal neuralgia. So if you have revised my notes of tonsillectomy 4 or 5 times, this question was there, glossopharyngeal nerve, 9th nerve, and is often repeated MCQ. Clear? Coming to the next one, all of the following cause a great white membrane of the tonsil. Again, one of the simplest MCQ beta. They try to confuse you between Vincent angina and Ludwig angina. Ludwig angina is submandibular abscess. There is a swelling below the chin. So there is a cellulitis in the floor of the mouth, nothing to do with the membrane over the tonsil. There is a long list of all the differential diagnosis for membrane over the tonsil. Again, this is one of the easiest MCQ. So I feel as far ENT MCQs were concerned, they were on the easier side. Clear? Patient with fever, sore throat, difficulty to swelling. Examiner was giving you the thumb sign. He was giving every finding. Beta, iske baat to hame answer aana chahiye na. Thumb sign was mentioned. The examiner was not asking the diagnosis. He was giving you the finding and he asked you the cost effective. Now, what is most common organism? This is a controversial MCQ where all the faculties they give an answer of H influenza. No beta, no, not at all. It is not H influenza. It is because of success of vaccination, the incidence of these organism is on the lower side. Now it is streptococci. Always remember. Epiglottitis thumb sign toxic patient. Always remember beta, this patient is very toxic. We have to take special care. In the upcoming INICT they can raise a question on which of the following should not be done. So always remember, in epiglottitis patient, thumb sign toxic patient, we never give any painful stimuli. Never give any painful stimuli. This paper was a strong message to all the students. Keep it at, don't run behind multiple sources. Follow one source, revise 5 times, you will get all the MCQs. Take my words beta, all the MCQs were from the old standard class notes of DAMS beta. Many students, they believe in mugging up the things. No beta, now we are in 2021. We have to learn the concept. There is no shortcut. Okay, we will mug up and we will touch 150. Not at all. And take my words beta, you have to learn the concepts. If you learn the concept, this paper was a cakewalk for you. Cakewalk for those students. Clear? Last few MCQs, I can say these were the MCQ to touch 150 very comfortably. Which of the following is the unpaired cartilage? But obviously we have 3 paired, 3 unpaired. If you attended my larynx lecture, first half an hour on the beautiful anatomy of larynx, corniculate, cuneiform, arytenoid, all are paired. Thyroid is unpaired. Epiglottis, yes. Precord, yes. So these are unpaired cartilages. Which other part cartilage doesn't ossify? All ossify except your precord, thyroid, arytenoid. So answer was your epiglottis. This I feel these MCQs are given by examiner just to help you to touch the mark of 150. Clear? So abductor, all the muscles of the larynx are adductor, ADD, except posterior cricoarytenoid. Is never confused by the nerve supply. If they ask you exception of the nerve supply, all the muscles are supplied by recurrent laryngeal, except that is cricothyroid. But they were asking all muscles are adductor, except they were asking the abductor of the vocal cord, that is posterior cricoarytenoid. Posterior cricoarytenoid. And question number 20. आना ही था बेटा, ये क्वेश्चन तो आना ही है ना. मिडिल ईयर post covid patient, black mass in the nasal cavity, diabetic patient, they have given the history, they have asked you the most appropriate diagnosis. Answer was mucormycosis. Drug of choice will be going for amphotericin B. Clear? So these I tried my best beta to, with the help of these 20 MCQs, to give you a message. Okay, yeah, we have to revise the class notes again and again. Clear? Don't quit. All these students, all my FMG students, beta, work hard. This is a difficult zone. Why? Because we are just shifting from a mugging up era to a conceptual era where we have to learn the concepts better. I have seen many faculties, they motivate you, okay, just you mug up the things and you touch 150. No better. Now we are going for the next. After this, you will be having the next examination where we have to learn in a integrated way, and that is the beauty of DAMS, where we have started teaching all the concepts for in an integrated way. All the students who are just trying to mug up the things now, okay, first crack MCI and then we'll be going for next. No beta, this is not need of our. We have to learn, okay, this the pattern is changing and we have to learn everything in an integrated way. We have to touch the basic sciences in an integrated way. Clear? Thanks a lot for listening to me. Very best of luck beta for upcoming all the examination, and I am confident all the medicos who have learned in a dedicated way, you will crack your FMG. Thanks a lot beta. We stop at this point.